Hello, and welcome to the Transformation Dynamics Applied Metaphysical series. My name is R.J. Wellington. I have dedicated most of my life to studying, applying, and teaching metaphysical concepts. I was born in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and I have been living in New York for over 30 years. I coach a limited number of students based on my practical and result-oriented method, Transformation Dynamics. I hope you enjoy this video and come back for more. This video title is Fourth Dimensional Living: How to Instantly Become and Have What You Want. Well, I have good news and bad news for you. Which one you want to hear first? Well, most people prefer to hear the bad news first. So there we go. The bad news is you are, at this moment, unknowingly living in the past. Yes, that's what keeps you from observing radical or even miraculous changes and transformation in your life. You are watching the same movie every day with slight variations. And you call this movie your life. Now to the good news. You can live in the quote-unquote present. And living in the present, keeping your vision and feeling polarized on the parallel reality you wish to experience three-dimensionally is what will reveal a future of your liking. And this is what fourth dimensional living is all about. Living in an atemporal state beyond time and space. This fourth dimension reality is not at all attached to the past. The present does not have to be a result of the past. If you live in a fourth dimensional state of consciousness, each moment is a new moment, a new parallel reality, a new still picture that you can control by using the quadrant of being and the perfect self process. Quantum physicists are saying what mystics and metaphysical masters have been saying for millennia, that time and space are illusions created by consciousness. We are living in consciousness in a universe of infinite possibilities and probabilities, all happening simultaneously in the eternal dimension of the now. And in life, we always have two choices: to source from what is, which is a reflection or echo of your so-called past, or we have the choice of sourcing from the field of unlimited possibilities and probabilities, which contains all your desires. When you source from what is, that is, the supposed reality that you are dreaming of experiencing right now, you are validating, giving energy to that reality, and keeping your current probable self polarized in a set of events and circumstances that don't seem to change. There might be slight variations for sure, but the central theme continues to operate in your life. Sourcing from the field of unlimited possibilities and probabilities is what wizards, magicians, masters, and enlightened people do. It is choosing your vision and feeling, creating a resonant frequency and staying there until the mirror, or what you call your solid reality, responds to it and shows the images that you have polarized your inner vision and feelings towards. And why solid reality responds to you, to your thoughts, to your vision, to your feelings? Because it is not solid at all. Ultimate reality is made of waves of energy which are constantly collapsing to give your senses a point of reference. That's all. How you collapse those waves depends on your vision, feelings, expectations, and fears. Again, and pay close attention to it, this is one of the biggest metaphysical secrets you ever learn. If you live your life based on what is, or what people call concrete present reality, you are actually living in the past and sourcing the present moment from the past. I call that the Groundhog Day syndrome, inspired by a movie, I think it was in the late 80s or early 90s, with Bill Murray, in which this character keeps on reliving the same day over and over again until he decides to change, and then his day starts to be different. That's a great movie if you care to watch, Groundhog Day. So, what you think is your quote-unquote present is really a result of your focus of consciousness on things as they were, either a few minutes ago, a few years ago, or decades ago. It doesn't matter, all according to your own time coding. There is a kind of delay in this current reality construct. It is more like a safety mechanism. And if it wasn't for this delay, we would be in serious trouble. Positive expectations, visions, and feelings would materialize instantly, for sure. But negative ones would materialize as well. If, for example, you were walking in a dangerous street at night and thought about being raped or killed, and felt that fear in the depth of your being, bang, there it was. You would attract that immediately. So, we do experience what we call reality with a little time lapse. Remember that we are talking in terms of energy and consciousness here. And concrete or solid reality is just an externalization of consciousness. If you try to rationalize these teachings using human logic or the current laws of physics or science, you can't understand it fully. So suspend judgment for a moment. And you can come to your own conclusions after you watch this video. So, by sourcing from what is, or the result of your past frequency of consciousness, you will live in a parallel reality that just keeps on showing you the same signals, with slight variances, usually negative, such as getting older, sicker, or more depressed as the illusory years pass by, and you see your youth dreams going down the drain. Why? Because that's what you expect your now moment to be like. You expect it to follow a quote-unquote logical sequence based on what you have perceived to be happening in the past. That is where the problem lies. And this is another amazing revelation when we truly get it. Remember that the present does not necessarily has to be a result of your past. This is the secret to instant transformation. But if you expect the present to be a product of your past, you are generating it. A metaphysicist sees each moment as a completely new and independent moment where anything can happen, regardless of what has happened 1 minute, 1 day, or 1 year ago. This message has been shared before. For those who had the eyes to see, it is clear in the Bible, which holds in codified form all secrets of the universe. In 2 Corinthians 6 verse 2 we read, "Behold, now is the accepted time. Behold, now is the day of salvation." So we always had this knowledge, and now I'm breaking it down to you in an easy to understand language and terminology. That's what applied metaphysics is all about. By now, I just want for you to realize that each moment is a new beginning. Each moment is forgiving, unconditional, and independent from the previous moment. When you truly realize this, you will be living in the fourth dimensional state of consciousness. That's what dimensions are, anyway, states of consciousness. Fourth dimensional living is a secret to instant healing of whatever may be afflicting you right now. Those diseased cells, for example, they don't source from the past. Your human mind is sourcing from the past, not your cells, period. When you realize this, you send a message to all your cells, something like, hey, you are free to go back to your natural state, a state of balance and harmony. And I will tell you, your body will be in a state of joy. Your cells will be vibrating in gratitude. Because your cells, your organs, your body wants to be healthy. And if left alone to exercise its functions, you would enjoy perfect health, vigor, endurance, and well-being all your life, and you would live much longer. The same applies to relationships, love, finances, etc., all aspects of your life. Your higher self wants all that is good and harmonious, joyful for you. That's why you have desires in the first place. You have goals and objectives. If you lived in the ever-renewing now, all things would happen naturally. It is great living in fourth-dimensional consciousness, isn't it? Another biblical verse that comes to my mind is in Revelation 21, verse 5. Behold, I make all things new. And that's what your higher self and your body, if allowed, will do. When you ignore what is, or your current illusion of reality, and focus on the state, frequency you want to experience, then and only then you are living the eternal moment of present, not sourcing from your eternal moment of the past. You have to understand that there is only now. In this eternal moment of now, you have the free will to choose to source from so-called now moments of the eternal past that is happening forever, or create a whole new personal reality based on what you wish to experience from the eternal moment of a quote-unquote future that also already exists, in which your wish is realized. Everything is happening at the same time in the dimension of time-space continuum, this fourth dimension. Dimensions are no places to be found somewhere, but states of consciousness, or frequencies. What you choose to source from will freeze your now moment, either in the same frequency that you call past, or the now moment that you would call future. Living fourth-dimensionally is living beyond the restrictions of the illusory space-time construct of this matrix. This you do in consciousness, not with the physical body. You pick and choose a parallel reality of now that you wish to experience, no matter what it is, and you polarize yourself in that reality. This is not hard to do. You can do that with the quadrant of being or the perfect self quantum jumping process. It is not hard to do. And you are doing it right now to keep the illusion of a flow of time into a logical sequence. The problem might be that you are doing it wrong, focusing or sourcing from the past and focusing more on the things that you don't want than on the things that you truly want. The problem with a logical sequence based on quote-unquote realistic illusions, what you call realistic thinking, is that if, for example, you receive a diagnostic of a serious disease, you are automatically entrapped in the logical sequence of that archetype, of that illusion. An agreed upon authority figure called a physician will give you all the prognostics and may even tell you how many months or years you will have to live your life. And you focus your consciousness on that parallel reality sequence and painfully experience that reality, because that's what you are focused on in the first place. That's all that makes you go through that reality. Have you ever heard of the placebo effect, spontaneous healing, or instant cures? There are plenty of examples of this in medical literature. It is not a mystery, it is happening every day. Fourth dimensional living is the secret to self-realization, healing, rejuvenation, wealth, joy, bliss, and full enlightenment, which leads eventually to even to physical immortality. One thing that my beginner students keep on asking me to do is to clarify what is. What is? Well, what is whatever you see now with your senses, based on past vision, feelings, and doings. What is the having shown in the quadrant of being. If you haven't watched that video, go back and watch it. You always have the option to source from the so-called past, be it 1 minute or 20 years ago. Or you can source from the field of infinite possibilities and probabilities, that is, source from unlimited thoughts. You can do this to heal or transform any aspect of your life. You give too much power to what is, to what you're seeing, to what you're experiencing at this moment. As for example, you might say, I want to be rich, but I have no idea on how to do it. I don't have ideas, resources, the education, the looks or talent. Well, the second part of that phrase, but I have no idea on how to do it, I don't have ideas, resources, education, the looks or talent, is what you are sourcing from, what you are perceiving now as your reality. The second part of this phrase is what keeps you experiencing more of that condition, because you expect that condition to control your choices and destiny more than you expect to be rich. In this case, you have a want. Everybody has wants, but how many people realize all their wants and desires? So, the new thought advice that says that you must want something enough does not hold true in practical metaphysics. Why? Because you do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. And who are you? Check my video on the quadrant of being to know what defines what you are at each moment of your life. Actually, check all my videos, all the videos that I have posted, and subscribe to my channel to see the videos that I will be posting in the future. They all connected at some level. But by now, regarding this video that you are watching now, I wanted to suggest you to follow these simple guidelines to take the most advantage of this video, of what you have learned. I want you to watch this video a few times in the next couple of days until this knowledge becomes more than an intellectual comprehension, but becomes a knowing within your being. Each time you watch or listen to it, you may get a new realization, so pay close attention. Try this concept on something small, as for example, if you have a headache, or if you're feeling a little sad, or if you're feeling a lack of energy or motivation to do something. How would you do that? How would you use this principle? Instead of focusing on what is the headache, for example, ask yourself, what would I see and feel if there was no discomfort in my head? Ask, what do I have to see and feel to ease this discomfort in my head? And don't try to figure out answers, but allow your higher self to take over and inspire you on what you have to see and feel to change a condition. Also ask, what if I can enter that parallel reality of comfort and easy right now? How would it feel? What would I be doing? If you ask these questions, the answers come. If you do it without any tension or anxiety for a result, I guarantee you that the discomfort or whatever you work on will go away in at most a few minutes, if it is something as simple as a headache or feeling out of energy. So please feel free to write me with your experiences using this simple process. This is just a very beginning level process that we teach in applied metaphysics, but we must start small and grow in confidence until we become unlimited. So let's review and remember the important points in this video. You can choose to source from what is or from what can be, according to your true desires. If you source from what is, you are focusing on the past and reproducing it. If you focus on your current reality, that is sourcing from what is, focusing on what is happening right now, and thinking that this is going to define your future. Depending on what you focus on, from a what is perspective, the problem, situation, or condition can and will become worse. It is like a snowball that keeps on growing. If you focus on a problem, it has no choice but to keep appearing in your life, to keep growing. If you source from what can be, or the field of unlimited possibilities and probabilities, you are creating a whole new frequency of now, and finally living in the present, being able to alter every now moment that you call future. Whenever you focus on either, you are focusing on either 24 hours a day anyway. You are entering a new parallel reality whenever you focus. You are becoming a new probable self. Again, see my video on consciousness and infinity to learn about probable selves. This new probable reality of now can represent the worsening or maintaining of your problem, or it can be a totally new configuration in which the past moment does not influence your now anymore. And that is mastery over yourself, over your conditions, over your life. That's the way of the true metaphysicist. I hope you have fun playing with this concept. Remember, life in this multidimensional free will zone was meant to be fun. You are not here to suffer or to pay for anything in order to evolve, quote-unquote, spiritually. You are here to explore your full potential. And I'm glad to be one of the reality shifters who was assigned to share this message with you. Thanks for watching. If you want to know more about our 100% risk-free and very affordable Applied Metaphysics coaching program, please visit www.truemetaphysics.com. I guarantee you that I will share the most profound and advanced metaphysical concepts and processes that can be applied immediately in your life, and you will see quick, if not instant, results. May the force be with you always. Thanks for watching my video.